spring of 2024, I had the chance to join a very special expedition in Svalbard called The Journey to Nature's Edge. This was hosted by Natural World Safaris, who actually guide for on a ship each season, and they gave us the opportunity to experience Svalbard from both land and sea in one expedition. In the first half of the trip, we were based on snowmobiles, and I captured an image that might be my favorite that I've ever captured, so let's jump back to the start of the expedition. Good morning from Longyearbyen, Svalbard. It's very nice to be back here. I'm just setting up with some friends for a snowmobiling mission. We're heading out to Isfjord Radio at the end of the fjord. We're going to go into the backcountry to get there.
It's been freezing cold. I think we had almost minus 40 effective degrees with the wind. I don't know if you can see, but my nose is peeling. I had proper frostbite.
Well, your nose looks good given that it had frostbite.
Thank you. I've used some special cream on it.
Time for lunch. We have had only a couple of stops on the way because the light has disappeared. It's very flat out now and low visibility overall. We just drove through a whiteout for about 9 kilometers. You can see absolutely nothing. Reminds me of home. And we've just reached the edge of the sea ice. Our lead driver has gone down onto the ice to check the conditions to make sure it's safe to drive today. It's a piece of driftwood, which is quite cool. It's the only sign that we've reached the fjord. Good morning from day 2 here in Svalbard. We have just ventured out from the lodge in beautiful cold conditions today. I think it's around minus 13, which as for this winter is actually not that cold, but it's definitely a change from yesterday, which very much felt like Iceland weather. Had quite a surreal reindeer shoot. We've got a group framed perfectly in front of the mountains and really soft fog light behind. One of the younger reindeer came walking towards us. It was like a direct head-on eye-to lens moment. My short films about nature would be nothing without the sound effects that I've added in post-production. This year I've been using the extensive sound library from Artlist to craft my videos. Their all-in-one platform makes it easy to find both sound effects and music tracks for your videos. I've been able to find some very niche sounds. I really love finding the right sounds to correspond to the feeling of the moment being in nature. Artlist has recently released an AI voiceover tool. You can use any text and find a voice that matches the feeling you're trying to portray, and in one click you have a voiceover that can become the centerpiece of your video. I've been thinking of ways that I could implement this into my videos. I thought I would recreate the feeling of an old school nature documentary. I found this voice. It actually reminds me of a Shackleton audiobook that I once listened to.
In the far north of our planet, between Norway and the North Pole, lies the world's northernmost settlement. With a population of just over 2,500 people, Svalbard is home to the magnificent king of the Arctic, the mighty polar bear.
few days in. Oh no! We're out on the snowmobiles again. We have hit the glaciers today for something different. So we've just reached the edge of Van Mayenfjord in Belsund, one of my favorite parts of Svalbard, the archipelago. It's just amazing to be up here, such a different perspective than I've had the last few years in Svalbard, being on the land side and having crossed the glacier on the snowmobiles. It was really an intimate experience of this landscape from the high perspective and being immersed in the mountain ranges rather than looking at them from afar. I found this mountain peak off the other side of the outlet glacier, and it has a very smooth shadowed mountain and a very rugged, texture-rich mountain peak behind. You never know what you're going to find on these days, and kind of being in the polar regions, it's all about just the exposure to these places, and then you let the weather and the conditions give you these special moments. We had a sunbow, this incredible circular rainbow around the sun up on the glacier. That was quite a beautiful scene to capture as well. We're just on our way back to Longyearbyen, and we stopped at this very interesting ice cave. Looks very different to Iceland. It's completely covered in rocks and mud. There's so much striation in the ice, which gives a very unique texture, almost like a marble effect.